Recording. Is it? I guess now it's recording because it says stop recording. Hi, so this is the first episode of Creatrix Spotlight, and today we're going to be talking to the amazing Shane Kulman. She is one of my guides and teachers and friends, and I would say she's kind of a Renaissance woman. Not kind of, she is. She's used all of her amazing gifts and continues to use them and inspire people. And I wanted to talk to her today about one of the things that she does, which has created and is the founder of, which is Mindful Action Project. And I will let Shane talk about what that is and what's to come. So.
Thank you for having me. I'm really, really excited and honored and inspired to share what I've been doing, what feels like a secret. So I began working with students in prison in a residential treatment center because somebody said I'd be good for them. But it's not something I had a background in. I was just teaching preschool and coaching women in confidence. And I started teaching them yoga. And I immediately fell in love with them because they listened to me and I got to be my badass Brooklyn self. Like I was finding tools of like, hey, like using my real self. And also realizing that it wasn't about me. That was the first place I found out, like, I have to be really present because on the flight of a dime, a kid could totally flip out. So I had to be ready for like, sometimes a desk was thrown or sometimes the kid was pissed and he would, express that. So I didn't love yoga. And so I realized, I have to do something that I love or I'm not going to enjoy this or be present for it. And I started teaching them improv acting. And that was the thing that changed my life so dramatically and got me to be really present. And so the improv acting gave these kids who had such tough lives a place to play. And mindfulness came with that so easily because it was like, they have to be able to self-regulate. So I was like, all right, the way I do things is I play big, I go all in. So the Mindful Action Project came together by the teachings, by me showing up and being like, wow, I'm giving them space to do actions that are their impulse that they've gotten in trouble for their whole lives. And to prepare to be seen and not get in trouble, they had to breathe. They had to relax their bodies. And so it came about that way. And it's led me in so many different directions, but basically Mindful Action Project is for youth. It's court-involved youth. It's youth that feel stressed or strained. And it's also youth that have big ideas that don't know how to stand up in front of a room and talk about them. So it's great to have ideas, but if you don't have that confidence to share them, it's a waste, and it doesn't get out. And that is really heartbreaking.
Yeah. Wow. And what would you say, so obviously you're working with kids that are in jail, basically. And what would you say is the most challenging or has been the most challenging aspect of working with them, and also like making sure that this gets out to more kids who need this work?
Great. I love that question. So two challenging things is I want more kids to have access to art and more self-expression because it's great. I show up and then that's it. So it's actually this paradox where I'm in this system that doesn't work according to me. And I shine the light and I give them sacred space and they have like a place to express themselves. And this one line this kid said, there's many, but he basically was like, my life is like a rainbow without colors.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, I don't want them to think they can only express themselves when like the white lady shows up. And so, and to say like, actually it was all different colors of kids and ages and sizes, but the biggest challenge is how to give them this space So they have it all the time. So when they're pissed and depressed and angry, they turn to their journal and they write a screenplay, or they turn to their, iPhone and they make a small video. Yeah. And I sent you a video of one of the girls, and she was masterful in getting everyone organized. We had done some filming and done some acting. So the biggest challenge is, how do they know that they can continue this work, that it's not just me who loves them, that there's a million people that want to hear what they have to say. And the second part of that is, the second challenge is when they're surrounded by staff and their neighborhood, their culture, who says, like, you're not worth anything, shut up with your ideas, like, go get a job, go get a job, and suffer and live in a way that's like, make sure you have a roof on your head and food on your table, but that doesn't include art. Just because Shane said so, I become farther and farther away. And I'm only one person, and this thing has to grow so I can show up. And I love being in the front line, but creating a whole business around it, or a nonprofit, or whatever it's going to be, I need help. So that's like a third challenge.
Yeah. So it actually leads me to one of my questions, which is, what's like the next step to like make this evolve into something bigger, and what can people who are watching do to help you, and how can we get involved?
Great. So for right now, next step. So the next step for me is I'm doing another workshop in the Rockaways, which is where I'm at, and it's for youth leadership. So these are kids that maybe live in low economic status, but they show up. They show up to what's available, weekend things. They show up and they say, hey, I'm bored and I want to do this. So that's physically what I'm going to be doing. On a bigger scale, I would like to hear from people. So angel investors are great. And also people who know how to start something like this and can hook me up with either a team, or to tell me, like, okay, get this, and this person, like an overseer or a manager. And on a lesser level, people who are like, I don't have any money, but I want to do this. Like, I have something to offer, and I want to either volunteer, or I want to help you just by having a conversation once a month. So I can keep it alive. Because right now I'm showing up, like I said, on the front line, which is great, but it's keeping it very limited.
Right.
So somebody who's done this before, who has extra time on their hands, who wants to get in the ditches with me or oversee the whole project.
Yeah, wow.
Or just like it on Facebook, like the Mindful Action Project, and keep me accountable by liking things and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so I was going to say, like, is that the best way to get in touch with you, through Facebook?
Great question. Yeah, I mean, social media, I'm also on Twitter with it, but to stay, if you have a giant idea, write to me at, what's the best place? At Shane at Your Beautiful Child. That's where this falls under. Okay. And then on social media, it's called the Mindful Action Project. So like it, share it, stay in touch that way. So that when it blows up, you could be like, great, here's how I can step in, or here's what I saw, and now I want to congratulate you. So
yes. Yay. Well, thank you so much for being the first one to give everybody this one gift that you have. Let everybody know about it. And I will be sharing this as much as possible, and I really can't wait to see what this becomes now that we've put the feelers out there for more like-minded people to join forces.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heather. This is such a big deal. Like, even getting me to speak about it makes me want to do more and not just put it on the back burner. So it feels really important to share just even what's happening right now.
Yeah. So excited. Thank you.
Thank you.